Guess what? I missed it by 2 days again. Hello everyone, I'm Georgia and this is The Sound of Georgia. And today, the day I'm filming this, is the 91st wedding anniversary of Maria and Captain von Trapp. So a couple of months back I did a video where I ranked all the ugly dresses Maria wore across the adaptations of their story. Because there's always an ugly dress, there was one in real life. So today I'm going to do much the same thing, except I'm going to be ranking her wedding dresses. Because, you know, it's their anniversary. So this is going to be very similar to the earlier video, but there are going to be a few differences. For example, I am going to take into account a bit of character as far as the wedding dresses go. In real life and in the adaptation, she had no say in what she wore the first time she went to the villa, so we don't need to worry about whether that's something she would have picked out for herself, because she didn't. But that is obviously not really the case with wedding dresses, so character is going to be taken into account. And yes, as far as character goes, it will be more fanfic related, or at least the character as we see her in the adaptations. But I think that does align in some places with the real life Maria. I think in her memoir we see Maria as she saw herself, which isn't actually that different from all the adaptations. Whether that was what she was really like, well, that's another story. But we're going with that. So I think there is a connection between the fictional version and the real life version. So I'm going to be going through the same 7 adaptations as I did for the Ugly Dress video. And they are The Sound of Music film from 1965, of course, the Trapp Family story anime, the Trapp Family, the Von Trapp Family A Life of Music, NBC Sound of Music Live, ITV Sound of Music Live, and the London Palladium production. So let's get started. So I'm going to be ranking these from worst to best, like I did with the Ugly Dress video. But of course in that video, the best was actually the worst because the dress was meant to be ugly. That is absolutely not the case here, so let's just go. At number 7 we have the Trapp Family story anime. I just think this dress is so poofy and over the top. The anime was made in the early 90s, so I think that's probably part of the reason this dress looks like it is, but I don't think it fits with Maria at all. Her dresses in all of the other adaptations and in real life are so much simpler. I really think this is a bit too much. However, in the anime they specifically say that the dress was given to her by Agatha's parents. Agatha being the captain's first wife. So while I can't see her picking this dress to wear herself, I can absolutely see her wearing it because Agatha's parents gave it to her. As a character, I can definitely believe she would do that. But that's not enough reason for it to be any higher on the list. At number 6 we have the dress in NBC Live. As I've mentioned in quite a few videos now, the costumes in this production are terrible, especially for Carrie. As costumes overall, they're actually quite nice, but Carrie's costumes do absolutely nothing for her. In fact, I think they're a bit of a detriment to her. And the wedding dress is no exception. Unlike the anime, where I think the dress is almost sort of dated in a way, this one is a little too modern for the story. I mean, after all, we're just before World War II, and Carrie's dress looks a little too 21st century. But aside from that, I think there is way too much lace. And I think lace is a very big factor in this list. I can't see Maria wearing lace, at least at this point in her life. Maybe somewhere down the line, but not at her wedding. But we're not going to go down that way, so let's just focus on the wedding. Too lacy for the wedding. Also, the veil. The veil needed to be bigger, or the wreath needed to be smaller, or both. It just doesn't work. At number 5 we have the dress in the Trapp Family. Now we're finally getting into dresses I think she would have worn. I think that fit with who she is as a character. But there's still too much lace on this one. The lace is really the only thing that holds this one back. The dress as a whole really isn't that different from the dresses in certain other adaptations, but the lace. Also, this is a bit of a side note, but I love the way the boys walk her down the aisle in this film. It's very sweet. Moving on, at number 4 we have ITV Live. This really only beats out the Trapp Family because, again, no lace. As a whole, I think there are parts of this dress that make it something she wouldn't wear, namely the sleeves, or lack thereof. But as I mentioned in my review, and from what you can probably tell by just looking at it, this production goes for a very different aesthetic. And within that aesthetic, I think this is something she absolutely would have worn. Okay, now we're up to the top 3. In number 3, we have the dress in the London Palladium production. You all know what this was inspired by. It's simple, it's elegant, it's exactly what she would have worn. And it's only number 3 because it's got a slightly different waistline from this one, number 2. Yes, this is actually my number 2. You're probably very surprised to find that this one is number 2. But then this ugly dress wasn't the top or bottom for that list, but nevertheless, this is actually not number 1. I don't even know whether I can really describe what's so wonderful about this one. Just look at it. Julie actually once said that this dress was a miracle. So if that doesn't prove it's just amazing, I don't know what does. And here we go. Number 1. That would be the dress from Life of Music. So it's obviously on the simple side. In fact, I'd argue that this one is the most simple. But as we've established, that is very fitting for her. In fact, it is perfectly fitting because this dress looks exactly like the one she wore in real life. Here is the one from the movie. Here's the one from real life. I think I've mentioned it in one of my videos before, but if I haven't, or even though I have, the visual style of Life of Music is perfect. He looks exactly like the captain and she looks like a prettier, skinnier version of the real Maria. Why the kids are all blonde when they were actually brunettes is another question, but as far as my OTP goes, they look exactly like the real thing. And that is why Life of Music gets the number 1 spot on the wedding dress list. So that's everything I've got for the video today. In the comments, let me know what you think. Do you agree with my list? Do you think it should be something else? Have you seen any other adaptations where you think the wedding dress should have been on this list? And of course, which is your favourite? My favourite is of course this one. Obviously, given this whole video, it is not number 1, but it's my favourite. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my video next week. So long, farewell!